am striving to become a full-time artist, which means I have to draw almost non-stop every single day to keep up this lifestyle. And as you may imagine, some days I don't feel like drawing at all. And I can't have that. No drawings means no work for me, means no food. So you see the urgency. It could be that I'm just tired. Maybe I don't feel inspired. Or maybe that imposter syndrome creeps in. Whatever the cause, today I wanted to share with you different ways I found that helped with my art block. So I divided the art block recovery plan into 3 different phases because I found that for me, there's different levels to art block. Sometimes taking a short break will fix all my issues and I can go right back into creating. And sometimes I need to go and climb the highest mountain in my area. So phase 1 is basically just me being slightly lazy. I would describe it as not being inspired. It's hard to force yourself to draw if you have no idea what you want to create, so this requires some discipline. When I get a feeling like this, I usually just do studies. I feel like in this phase it is important for me to just pick up a pen and push through. Otherwise I'm gonna spend the whole day playing Minecraft. And the best part is you can do studies of virtually anything that you want. You can work on your weak points, do studies of your favorite character, even try and learn your favorite shows or games art style as a little refreshment from what you usually do. I usually do the studies until I get bored and feel inspired enough to make an original piece. But here's some ideas for studies. So you could do 15 minutes painting study. Pick whatever picture you like, could be a landscape or a scene from a movie, set a timer to 15 minutes and without zooming in or color picking, try to replicate your reference. It's important to use only one brush. I recommend using a harsh square or rectangular brush. Don't be too concerned about getting the details right. The goal is to get the gist of the image. Did I pronounce that right? I don't know how to pronounce gist. Gist. Yeah. Study your weak points, backgrounds or portraits or values or anatomy, just whatever you feel like needs work. You could also do a study of your favorite character. You could draw them with a reference a couple of times and then try drawing them in different poses or angles or outfits or whatever. You could also look up art exercises and choose an exercise that you like. I'm currently making a video on art exercises compiled by Broken Draw in his video on 25 drawing exercises, so stay tuned for results of that, or just try it for yourself. I don't know, I'm not the boss of you. Or you could do a study of someone else's art style. I wouldn't personally recommend posting these studies because there's very little artistic input on your side, but if you decide to post them anyways, make sure to credit the original artist. Switch up your medium. Recently, I've been doing at least one colored pencil study a day. I pick out a reference of Pinterest and just spend my sweet time trying to draw a little illustration based on it. It keeps stuff fresh and it's nice just to shut off my brain and not have to come up with ideas. It feels like a coloring book actually, but the page is blank and I make the shapes and everything. Okay. So you did a bunch of studies, but you still do not feel like making art. Well, this step will require even more discipline. Basically, in this step, I push myself to try and draw whatever. I fill the canvas with some color, I pick out a brush in a different color, I make some squiggles, I try to make something out of those squiggles, it doesn't work, I erase everything and start over. And I start over as often as I have to. Over and over and over. And over and over and over. It's kind of more difficult to overcome than phase 1 because the drawings I force myself to make are usually not good, and when I see that they are not good, it makes me want to draw even less. But when I finally unclog that brain of mine, it feels so good. And to make this method even more effective, I pick up a little treat for myself. It could be your favorite tea, a biscuit, whatever. I tried to get my favorite drink from this vending machine and it was sold out, so that sucks. And if that didn't help, well, you're fucked. You got through phase 1 and 2. You did everything that this girl on the internet told you to. So why Why is it not helping? Why do you still feel like you cannot draw anything ever again? Did she lie? Did she make up all that stuff in phase 1 and 2 just to give you false hope? How could she? What a cruel, vile creature she is. Well, actually, I go through phase 3 sometimes too. No desire to draw anything at all, and I fear I might have burned out. I usually remedy this by taking a break. Could be 3 hours, could be 3 days. Whatever is needed to cure my art block. Go into the mountains for however long you need to. Go make yourself a delicious meal. Look at your fat potato of a dog. Eat a pot of mashed potatoes while watching a show you feel nostalgic about and drink some umesu. Go to thrift shops and look at all the freaky items they're selling. I especially like this one place in my hometown that has items so old but still brand new. Like this box of cotton. I like seeing all the vintage packaging designs. Watch a movie that you've watched a million times before. Watch a new show. Go out and take a walk. Play your favorite game or a game that you wanted to play for a long time. Read a book. Do some sewing or cleaning or whatever you feel like doing to cure yourself. I feel like this step is required because it replenishes your creative fuel. I imagine my brain and creativity as a machine or a pot that I can put whatever into, and then it creates these pictures or stories. But to make stuff, it needs ingredients, and sometimes the ingredients need to marinate a little bit. For example, last year I did a comic about mold, and I was really proud of it because it was the biggest art project I finished in years, even though it was just a short comic. And the way I got the idea for that comic was, at the time I was working, cleaning this house after the owner passed away, so that new people could move in. The house had heaps of mold in it because of the humidity, and when we moved one of the cupboards, the mold behind it created this very bizarre pattern. At the time, I just thought it was weird, took a picture and carried on with the cleaning, but a few days later an idea popped into my mind and I thought the idea was so good I just had to draw it. I usually get my best ideas while doing something not art related and just letting my brain wander, mixing and matching all my experiences. It could also be that maybe you need to take care of your mental and physical health. Clean a bit. Talk to friends or make some new friends. Exercise. Partake in hobbies just for yourself. Try to work out whatever mental issues you might be facing. Without you, there is no art at all. So take the time to take proper care of yourself. I remember talking with a friend one time who said that artists need to suffer to create good works, but I don't think that's true. I think people get it backwards. I'm much more like this stance by David Lynch.
A lot of people say, well, suffering is good for art. Look at Van Gogh, they say. And I say, let's take a look at Van Gogh. Van Gogh didn't go out painting because he hated it. The only time he was happy probably was when he was painting. He painted because he loved to paint. And the rest of his life was pretty miserable. Negativity is the enemy of creativity. It's common sense. If someone is depressed, they say they don't even feel like getting out of bed, let alone working. If you're sad or if you're filled with bitter anger, that occupies the mind. Maybe you do angry paintings. So what? You could do angry paintings, but be happy in the doing.
So if you're feeling really down, just get out there and get some new experiences, or let your existing ones marinate. Don't beat yourself up for not being able to create right now. It does you no good and will only slow down your recovery. I wish I could give you tips on how to prevent art block rather than cure it, but I feel like there are so many causes for art block, and these also vary between people, that it would be difficult to create a routine that would work. So, are you cured? Thanks for watching, guys, and let me know what are your ways of combating art block. Do people from other art fields also experience this? Like, do musicians get art block? Would it then be music block? Or any other field in general? Okay, good luck. Bye! No. I'm gonna spend the whole day playing Minecraft, and that's not gonna help me build my favorite character. What? It's kind of difficult to overcome that than phase 1, because the drawings are fuck. It's kind of difficult to overcome. What? It's kind of more difficult to overcome than phase 1. Even though